There you go. I think we're good. Hi guys, Brandon and Lana here, and over the years we run into a lot of opinions about real estate, that I don't need an agent, or I can sell it on my own, or most common one, real estate agents making so much money they need to share commission. Nonetheless, real estate is a lot more complicated if you do it right. So we're running in constantly in the situations and agents that not quite there in understanding how hard it is to do real estate and to actually save the client money. So we really would like to share our experiences for the consumer and for the agents. So maybe you guys can learn something. Today's actually, I'm going to be talking about an agent, like ethical, not ethical. We'll let you decide. All right, so Brendan, go ahead.
All right, so had a client, saw a property, absolutely fell in love with it, and they were ready to offer. But they wanted me to call the agent first and see what could sweeten the deal and what could make it something that's acceptable, just so that we had a good chance of winning the bid, because right now times are crazy with bids. So we did exactly that. Gave them a call, they told me, and within about a couple of hours, the agent called me back and said, we need to have the offer this evening. We're getting pressure from another offer and we are looking to make a decision.
So pretty much, I'll pause right there. We needed to make an offer fast that day, and it was in the evening, to help them make a decision. So we were waiting to hear from the agent.
So we already had the offer written up and executed. We were just going to deliver it the next day when they told us that the offers were going to be reviewed and accepted. And I told her that so that they did not use our offer as additional leverage to be able to prop up another offer and beat us out at the finish line.
Unfortunately, that happens. That's one of the we run into it quite a few times, so we know how to navigate, right? If we're not quite there, and then there's an escalation clause, another agent is making sure that the offer with the escalation clause will win by using, in our case, our buyer. So
yeah, we didn't want to be the ladder. We didn't want to be their stepping stone. So as a result, we made the offer, but we changed the deadline from the next day to that day because they said that they were going to be making a decision that day.
So let me understand. Mm-hmm. So first offer, it was the first offer that you sent, and acceptance deadline was tomorrow, because that's kind of like the 24 hours acceptance deadline, kind of makes sense. But the agent rushed you to make an offer tonight, and you changed the deadline from the first offer to make a better offer, higher offer, and they changed the deadline for today.
Yeah, so we changed the offer, made it a little better, but we changed the deadline that we originally told her she would have until the next day per our conversation for the first offer. At that point, with the second offer, or the one that we revised, we went ahead, changed the date to the 19th. Again, for the reason we didn't want them to be using us as a rung on their ladder. We wanted to be the winning offer.
Yeah. So what's next? Did you win?
Actually, funny thing. So we put in the offer. It expired at midnight. We never heard from the buyer agent or the listing agent, even though we had reached out a couple of times just to see how we were looking and making sure that she had even received the offer. Unfortunately, she didn't even reply to me until the following day in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm. So you followed the instructions of the agent.
Yep.
Didn't hear back, followed up a few times, and agent did not reply.
Correct.
Well, that's one of I really want to point that out. Again, if you are a consumer, some of the agents do that. If you are an agent, please don't do that.
Yeah, it's just poor form, and really, when you're trying to negotiate and do the best job for your seller, the best thing you can do for them is to stay in constant communication as you've engaged that negotiation process. So, at the afternoon when she called me back, basically what had occurred was she told me that they were still considering our offer as in the running, and wanted me to revise it again for a third time to make it even sweeter, because the other person, there were two other people actually, and one of the other people was reliant on our escalation clause for them to be able to get the bid.
Define sweeter. Do you want to, I mean,
She asked us to increase the price point, asked us to increase the escalation clause, and asked us to withdraw some of the critical contingencies in the contract that would protect the buyer.
Okay.
So as a result, buyer decided that was just a little too much for them, and they had withdrawn the contract anyway. Remember, it expired yesterday, so we went ahead and withdrew it altogether and deleted it on our side, or hid it from the other side so that they were not able to use it any further for their leverage.
Okay, so the bottom line is, made a couple of offers, you and your buyer try to meet all the expectations or all the, I don't know, demands or requests from the listing agent and the seller.
Yep.
And no longer, after third request, no longer you wanted to be in the game, and you simply withdrew your offer, so it's no longer on the table, no longer is client interested in playing those games, right?
Well, yeah, client wasn't interested in being a part of that, and it was a little much of what they were asking. So as a result, even though we thought that it had been removed anyway, or it wasn't being accepted because we hadn't heard from them in the time limit allotted, she still engaged us as though we were still participating.
Okay. You mentioned, did you call the listing agent to tell her you guys are done?
I put it in writing, so I explained to her politely, because at that point we thought we were already out anyway. I politely explained to her that my clients are no longer interested, and that this offer is not on the table. It expired yesterday.
Okay. Well, and that's a twist. What's next?
Well, funny thing is, as soon as she saw this, she gave me a quick call and was trying to use our document as her tool in order to be able to escalate the price for her clients with another buyer.
So what happened is she knew you're no longer in the game.
Yep.
No longer your offer is the highest.
Right.
Again, highest, which in the real world, in the fair world, it should have won.
Right.
So it did not win.
Correct.
Gotta love it. It did not win, and on top of that, when you told her that you were withdrawing,
Correct.
she called you and she said, "Hey, where's the document? Like, don't. I mean, I know you withdraw, but give it to me anyway."
Yeah. So she wanted me to be a productive part of her negotiation in getting another buyer to be able to win over my bid that we made on that property, which just. It's bold. I mean, it's bold to call me and say, "Hey, we know that we asked a lot from you, and we know that we pushed you to the breaking point, but would you mind us using your document to try to push these people even higher?" Another buyer with another buyer agent.
That's all. Yeah, it is definitely bold. It is definitely unethical. It is definitely hurtful to the buyers out there. All of the above, and it's not fair to the seller either.
Right.
So,
but the thing about it is, she was asking to use a document that had expired the day before. It was no longer a valid document, and so what she was trying to do was use that document and use me, my license, my buyer, to help her fool the other agent into paying more using our document to push the price point up. So on top of not getting it because of the way she was participating, she then came back to me and asked me to help her with the buyer's side, which would not only be unethical, but if the buyer or the buyer's agent on the other side ever discovered that I was the one that was a participant in that, willing, when the offer had expired the day before, both the license of the listing agent for that property and my license would be in question.
I mean, not to say that one buyer who actually deserved the property and was the highest offer did not get it, and the other person was scammed into thinking that there is another higher offer. Oh my gosh, agents, please don't do that.
Well,
yeah. It's very, very frustrating, but it is out there. It is definitely, I don't know if it's ignorance is a bliss, or I don't know if it's done on purpose. Nonetheless, it has been done, though.
Well, and looking at this agent, she doesn't do a lot of business, and you know, that's where a good team or a good brokerage really does make a big difference. People that you can bounce ideas off of, have a conversation with, and really get you in to be able to make those critical decisions that are going to help you do the best job for your seller. It ends up that she offered to take it out of her own commission after she made that mistake. But the reality of it is she wouldn't have had to do that if she had acted ethically from the beginning. She would be under contract with a higher offer, and she wouldn't have to do these sneaky things that she's asked me to engage in.
Correct. And I mean, it's definitely, like I said, it's definitely frustrating. That's why I really wanted to address that, to make sure that it's not going to happen to any of the agents or buyers out there, or just make you aware that things like that behind the scene do happen. It's not as easy just to show a home and put a contract and that's it. There is a lot more to it. It's very intricate. I mean, I'm biased to it. I love the industry. I love a good agent, and well, there you go.
Well, and it's a good PSA. Doesn't matter whether you're the listing agent. Listing agents, please, 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 do your due diligence. You want to use a document? Save your documents. Do whatever you need to do, but act ethically. If you don't know who to go to, please, please, please reach out to someone that you trust and align with them. For the buyer's agents, watch this stuff. Protect your client, protect your documents. Make sure that you are not wrapped into something that is defrauding someone else based off of unethical practices, if you can control it. For buyers, understand that your representation is going to be what's critical for you getting the offer and doing it in an ethical manner. And then for sellers, understand that these people, if the agent wasn't willing to give up her own commission, it would have come out of their pocket. So either way, at this point, this person has demonstrated that they just don't have the skills or the understanding of the contract or of the process in order to be able to properly represent their seller.
Contract, process, situation, buyers, multiple offer situation.
This is the world we're in right now.
Correct. Like the price point, all of those things need to be known, or I mean, I'm not talking about mastered, but it definitely needs to be known in order to go to the next level of the transaction. It's just the first step in negotiation. All right, well, we look forward to your feedback. Crazy situation. If you have any fun ones like that, send us messages. We'll talk about it. We'll present them so people can see, like I said, consumers and agents, that real estate not easy, and you definitely have to have a great agent by your side. Email us, like us, share it. Let's make industry better together. Bye.